D-Lo 404 Boxing. All right, y'all. Canelo got another win over Callum Smith and has established himself as the man to beat at 168 pounds, as I stated in the previous video. But, I'm eager to see if he makes the fights versus Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders. I'm pretty sure he has no reservations making the Billy Joe Saunders fight at this point. But, we'll see what happens. And quite honestly, he should and probably would be favored versus Saunders or Caleb Plant. But those are the fights that he has to take right now if his goal is to truly become undisputed at 168 pounds. Okay, on another topic, every time Canelo fights and gets a win, everybody comes out and starts talking about how much better he is than when he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., how he would mop the floor with Floyd Mayweather Jr. today. Floyd Mayweather fought him when he was just a pup, etc., etc. But they seem to keep forgetting that Floyd was no longer in his prime, was an older fighter on his way out of the sport, and that even if they fought today, if Canelo could beat Floyd today, what does that say? I mean, Floyd is a shell of who he was. The man hasn't fought in a real boxing match since Andre Berto. So we're talking about at least 4 years ago or so. So if he came out of retirement and fought Canelo, that is a lose-lose situation for Canelo, or it should be. But because of the way boxing politics work and boxing media work, it would be as if Canelo beat Floyd when Floyd was the very best he'd ever been. That would be the narrative. And I'm telling you, I'm not the biggest Floyd Mayweather fan or the biggest pro-Floyd guy. I'm just calling it like it is. There's nothing to be gained whatsoever by Floyd coming out of retirement to fight any of these young guys. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Floyd knows, and he's made statements about this. He said he feels like he could beat some of these guys, but why should he push himself that hard at this stage in his life? I haven't even say at this stage in his career, because his boxing career is pretty much over. He's just fighting exhibition fights. But people are so thirsty and so greedy to be able to say that this man is something we've never seen before and he's just head and shoulders over everyone else, that they would love to draw Floyd Mayweather Jr. out of retirement to fight this guy so that they can hang that on their mantle like they've done it, and say that, I rooted for the guy that beat Floyd. And at the end of the day, if Canelo could beat Floyd, guess what? They're 1-1. But I don't want to see Floyd come out of retirement fighting any of these young guys. I mean, his time has come and gone. Floyd retired several times, came back, fought, but he never stayed away as long as he's been away this time, and he's never been as old as he is now. The time for Floyd Mayweather being a top-level competitive fighter should be gone. So I don't expect him to come out and fight any of these guys. I mean, you look at Sergio Martinez has come back. He got 2 fights under his belt, but he's fighting low-level opposition. You don't see Sergio Martinez fighting the likes of Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade and guys like that, Billy Joe Saunders, or any of the top guys, in and around the weights in which he campaigned. He's not trying to go back to 154 and fight the top guys at 154 pounds. It just doesn't make sense. When your time is gone, your time is gone, or your time's passed. That's all I gotta say on the subject. D-Lo 404 Boxing, I'm out.